Mr. Alixo Piteda was an honorable and good man, esteemed by all who knew him, and lived alone in a corner with his wife and numerous children. The poor old man worked in the fields every day, planting vegetables and tending to the fruit, and on Sundays he would come to town with his tray to sell his merchandise. His wife, who was called Engracia, did the housework. She went to the woods to cut firewood, and in the evenings she would help her husband by peeling the beans and tying up the bunches of pods. Even though they worked so hard, they got sick, lived in extreme poverty, and never had any money to buy what they needed. Some days they didn't even have bread for their children. Look, Engracia, we can't provide for our children if we don't work more than a yoke of oxen. Therefore, if we have any more, I'll take them to the city town one Sunday when I go to sell groceries. And I'll give it to whoever wants to take it, even to the devil if he appears to me. Don't say that, Alixo. Look, it won't be another mouth that comes to slow us down in life. I've already told you, woman. If any more children are born, I'll give them to whoever wants them. Even to the devil, I repeat. Months later, they had another child, and the following Sunday, when the man went to the market, the woman dressed the little one and gave him to her husband. As soon as Piteda arrived in town, he met a well-dressed gentleman at the entrance to the street leading to the market. A well-dressed gentleman asked what that was on his arm. "It's a child that my wife had a week ago, my noble lord, and I brought the little one to see if anyone would like to keep him. I'm very poor, and I can't support my children. There are so many of them that I've decided to give the ones that are born to anyone who wants them. I'll take the child, good man. If you have to give him to someone else, give him to me. I'll take good care of him." The father handed over the child, and after selling all the produce, he returned home very pleased to have found a man so distinguished, with such beautiful manners, who would ask him for his little boy. When he got home, he told his wife everything, and she exclaimed, "May God protect him and make him a good Christian." The gentleman who had taken the boy to raise was the devil, who had overheard the couple's conversation and had come to fetch the child. The boy lived very happily in his protector's palace, where he lacked nothing and had a lot of fun because he walked and played everywhere. He noticed, however, that his godfather, as he called Satan, had never shown him the 3 rooms in the palace, which were always closed and which he never entered. But, as he respected him very much, he never wanted to enter those rooms, which piqued her curiosity. Once the devil, going on a journey, called the boy, who was then already 15 years old, and said, "I'm going for a walk, and since I'll be gone for a few days, I'll leave my keys with you. You can go through the whole palace except for these 3 rooms, which you must not enter, which I expressly forbid you to do." Satan stayed outside the palace for almost a month, and when he returned, he asked the boy for the keys, who handed them over without fear, for he had faithfully carried out the orders he had received. After a while, he made a second trip and, before leaving, gave his godson keys with the same recommendation. But this time the boy couldn't contain his curiosity, and assuming that his godfather would never know, he went to open the rooms. Unlocking the door of the first, he was dazzled. It was a room completely lined with copper, transformed into a stable, also made of copper, where he could see a beautiful brown horse that was running around a lot. When he entered the second room, he got further ahead. He saw another room all made of silver and a stable also made of silver, where a white horse was eating. More beautiful and faster than the first one. More beautiful and faster than the brown one. He entered the third room and couldn't hold back a cry of surprise. It was all made of gold, as was the stable, in which a black horse was eating that was even more beautiful than the previous ones, and that didn't run. It flew. Those 3 horses were enchanted. The chestnut called him and told him that he had no time to lose, because the devil was about to arrive from his journey, and if he found him there, he would kill him. The boy was very frightened, but the horse recommended it. Go to the kitchen and wrap a piece of soap in a piece of paper. On another pin. Put some water in a glass and come to me quickly. But don't be long, or I won't answer for your life. The young man did all that, and when he came back, the animal spoke again. Now go into the golden room, because when you come out it will be golden. And ride on me, I want to save you. I want to save you. When the cursed man arrived, he couldn't find his godson. He ran to the rooms and, not seeing the brown horse, realized that the boy had run away. He got on the black horse and, as it was windy, flew off, spotting him hours later, as soon as the chestnut found himself being chased by his owner, who was already close by. He said to the boy, "Quick, throw the soapy paper." Immediately, a very high hill of soap appeared, which the horse couldn't climb because it slipped. The devil returned home, annoyed, but suddenly remembered that if he had taken a knife, it would have been enough to cut through the soap. He remounted and, just as he was catching up, the brown horse said, "Quick, throw the glass of water, otherwise we're dead." The glass turned into a large pond, and Satan, seeing so much water, turned back for fear of drowning. When he reached the house, he remembered that with the power he had, he could make the pond disappear. He got back on his horse and flew off in search of the fugitive. And when he got there, he found no more lake. He flew until he saw them again. As soon as the brown horse felt the demon approaching, he said, "Throw the pins, otherwise we're lost." The boy did as his horse advised and saw a thorny bush forming behind him, so thick that no one could get through. The devil, in his rage to catch the child, tried to break the thorn bush by force, got stuck, and struggling to get out, died all stuck up. The other 2 horses went to meet the boy, and after a long ride, they arrived at the capital of the kingdom, where a very powerful king ruled. This king had a daughter called Princess Aurora. When she saw that golden boy, she fell in love and went to tell her father that she would marry him, no matter what the cost. His Majesty flatly refused, because the boy was not the son of a king, or even a nobleman, and fearing that Aurora would fall even more in love. He ordered the soldiers to form a large square, place him in the center and shoot him. The princess, learning of this order, asked him not to do it because it would mean the death of the young man, who could not escape so many bullets. The sovereign refused, and his orders were carried out faithfully. Before entering the square, the young man asked to be allowed to die on his horse. The voice was given to prepare, aim, and the shots rang out. Aurora, hearing that bang, had a seizure and fainted. As soon as the smoke cleared, the golden boy on the black horse was flying across the square. The monarch, in view of that extraordinary case, a true miracle, stupendous, unheard of, consented to the marriage, realizing that this was no ordinary person. So, shortly afterward, the wedding was celebrated, and as soon as the priest blessed the couple, 3 white pigeons were seen flying across the sky. They were the 3 horses going to heaven, since the golden boy no longer needed their protection. The end.